All right, I wanted to talk about this MSNBC clip. It's Melissa Harris Perry's show, but she's got her other person on here. It's just I thought it was hilarious and just outrageous, so I wanted to share it with you, and then we'll talk about it.
While some on the right are busy redefining the Cliff's Notes version of racism, others are using their time and energy responding to a set of laws that figured prominently in one of the country's most racially polarizing events. The verdict in George Zimmerman's case is in. But for the mother of Trayvon Martin, the case on Stand Your Ground, the law invoked during his trial, is far from closed. Sybrina Fulton joined her attorney, Benjamin Crump, this morning on Meet the Press to announce the next steps in her and her supporters' crusade to change the law.
The death of my son was so negative that we felt that we needed to do something positive to not only help us heal, but to help other families of senseless gun violence.
So what she's saying is really she just wants to do something positive because it was so negative. She's not saying that it's going to help anything.
And that's why we started the Trayvon Martin Foundation. That's why we're going all over the country to the 21 states that have the Stand Your Ground law to try to make some type of change. We understand that it's not going to be done overnight, that it's going to take time to do this, but we're in it for the long haul. We're in it. This is a part of my life now.
Yeah, because you're being supported by it. I mean, let's face it, there's definitely benefits in this for you.
And Aria, I want to now read that Benjamin Crump, the attorney that was on with her, one of her attorneys, had an article in the Washington Post yesterday. This is what he said, because it's really interesting. They're taking the whole Trayvon Martin issue and they're taking it to the ballot box. He says, this vote, your vote will be historic. It starts when you sign the Change.org petition by Trayvon's family to amend Stand Your Ground laws in 21 of the 31 states where they're on the books. It continues when you cast your vote in 2014 in the midterm elections and each election cycle beyond until we make history by passing a Trayvon Martin amendment to the Stand Your Ground laws in every state that has them. These actions.
So the communists have their own channel, their own little motto, lean forward, and they've got the government supporting them from the president down, the Senate completely. It's just amazing. They lost the case. The case is over. George Zimmerman is a free man. But do you think they're going to let it go? Do you think Obama's going to let it go? No, they're going to use this as a way to rile up the troops to come for 2014. They're going to attack based on total ignorance. These people have no knowledge of the case. So we're going to be able to stir them up, and they're going to really get something going here. It's hard to believe.
Will make you part of a new voting bloc, the Trayvon Martin voter. Now,
the Trayvon Martin voter. Amazing. So, if you think that your life isn't great, you can be a Trayvon voter too.
I spoke to Ben about this yesterday, and I thought this is very interesting because what they're doing is they're taking a Florida case about a Florida law, and they're now broadening it out to a midterm election strategy. Is this smart?
A midterm election strategy, because they know that this is a typical time where the president's group will go crashing down. Midterms are bad for the guy in power. So they're going to try to use this George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin case to help them.
On the part of them, and is it going to really help Democrats?
I think it is smart because I think what progressives and Democrats are realizing is the importance, number one, of local elections and the importance, number two, of long-term organizing, both of which the right has done for many, many years. So the policies we're seeing, for example, in North Carolina, these have been pushed for 30 years by conservatives to try to get them into place. The anti-union laws,
So now they're, of course, they're just trying to copy what the Republicans have been doing all these years. It's obvious that they've got this idea that maybe they can convince a bunch of people that saw this case as a tragedy against a young man who was doing nothing more than walking home, as opposed to a criminal thug that came back hunting somebody, beating their head on the concrete and trying to kill them. So let's use this case to stir up these young people.
NRA laws, the anti-women laws, all this stuff didn't come out of nowhere, right?
Anti-women laws? Really? The anti-gun or the NRA laws? Really? So we're talking about people that support our Second Amendment rights. So if you've got a group that supports the First Amendment rights, they're okay. But if you know a group that supports Second Amendment rights like the NRA, Well, they're the devil.
There's a long history of organizing for it. So I think progressives have to do the same kind of thing.
Yeah, the progressives don't organize at all. No, they don't organize. They don't have all kinds of groups, weird groups.
If they're going to want to be successful going forward. It might not happen overnight, but they have to work towards that goal going forward.
And it's fascinating because, Christine, without an ALEC of their own, right, the left has to resort to other ways of organizing.
An ALEC. So ALEC is the group that came together to help create stand your ground laws, right to carry laws, and boy, the left just hates them. But they've got their own little groups, the groups that support abortion on demand and, other things like that that they like.
The right has helped them a lot with voter ID laws, which have galvanized African American and Latino voters. This is interesting because this also pulls in younger voters. Trayvon.
So they're saying that the younger voters are going to come in because Trayvon Martin. I disagree, because most young voters forget. By the time November 2014 comes around, do you think they're even, let's face it, they're almost over it now, unless the news like MSNBC can keep bringing it up over and over again. Anyhow, let's move on to this next part I wanted to talk about.
During the encounter, I think that's great.
And the text of the amendment actually is that if you are the aggressor, you can't then claim stand your ground.
So the point that they were making here, and the reason I wanted to bring this up, is that Sybrina wants an amendment in 21 of the 31 states that have stand your ground, and in that amendment they want to have a rule that says if you're the aggressor, you cannot you stand your ground as a defense. And Florida's already handled that. And, I don't understand how these people that are outside Florida think they can come in here and tell us how to be and what we should do with our laws. Look, if you don't like them, stay the hell out of our state, Hit the road, Jack. Really, there's a Disney World on the other side of the country. Go over there. They don't want you to carry guns over there, so you should be happy. But over here, this is the way we do things. And, we're going to do them our way. And the more you bitch and complain, the less likely we're going to change it. We like it this way. So what did Florida say? We do have an issue with the aggressor. It says right in the law. Under 776.041, look it up. It says that if you are the aggressor, you lose the standard stand your ground protections. But if you are found by law to be the aggressor, which George was not found to be, in fact, the case was found that Trayvon was the aggressor. George was never found to be the aggressor, so for her to even bring it up makes her look stupid. And anybody who brings that argument up as a Trayvon Martin amendment is a stupid person. Very, very stupid, because it has nothing to do with it. So 776.041 says that if you are the aggressor, let's say you walk up to a guy, punch him in the nose, he starts fighting back, the two of you are going at it on the ground, and he gets the better of you. Now he's got you down, and he's cracking your head on the skull. You started it. You're the aggressor. But now he's beating your head in the concrete, and you're going to die. Does stand your ground step in here? Yes, it does. How? At the moment that you feel that your life is in danger, you make it clear to that person that you want to quit, that you're done, that you are in fear. If they refuse to stop at that point, then you are justified in using your self-defense. The only issue is that you do not get the immunity that goes with it. So if you use 776.012 or 776.031, both of those you're protected. But if you use 776.041, then you're not protected. You do get off. I mean, you don't go to prison. But if you started the fight, you don't get the immunity protection.
Reemphasize a point Ari made, and that is, in some ways, the last 30 years, we've seen progressive political organizing and politics grow up and become more sophisticated, and this is an indication of that. So it's not just
So they think it's sophistication to make up bullshit. It's just, truly, this is what it is. It's bullshit. Because you got this kid that attacked the night watchman. The night watchman almost got killed and was able to save his life. You know, this is what really happened. This is what the trial indicated. This is what all the evidence shows. But, you know, MSNBC and the left-wing media are going to continue to push this because there are enough stupid people in the world to change the outcome of an election if they keep pushing this. So that's all I wanted to really talk about. Good talking to you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.